Welcome, everyone. I am Chris Gore from Film Threat. Hope you're having a good Wednesday today. Today on the show, on Hollywood on the Rocks on a Wednesday afternoon, we are going to be talking about Marvel Phase 5 and the future of the MCU. What will it be? Plus, we'll be discussing other independent films. Alan's going to tell us about a film called Keeping Secrets. In addition, I have a few rants and I have some interesting information I would like to pass along about the future of entertainment. It's bigger than you think, so stick around. Also, we have Mark S. Allen, the director of Amy's Effortless, which just debuted on Amazon Prime Video. It's an indie film that you should check out. He will be here today with the lead actress from Amy's Effortless. The woman who plays Amy is going to be here. So join us. Join me and Alan Ng on our Wednesday Film Threat livecast, Hollywood on the Rocks. Let's get started. Let's go. I'm going to bring Alan on just a second here. I think he was having some internet problems.
Chris, my internet is working.
Alan, what happened to your internet?
Well, the phone line, we don't use phone lines anymore. And so, yeah, so we're having problems with that.
Good. All right. Well,
hey, yeah, let's talk about Ant-Man.
I don't know how much more I can talk about Ant-Man, but I definitely want to talk about the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We're going to be getting into it. Lots of new information has come out, and we're going to dive right in. But I do want to actually see who's in our chat. See who is in our chat here. Omar Abdullah is a member, says plungers. People keep asking for plungers. A super chat here from Lucano Further 88. Finally, I catch a live stream from the UK. Thank you.
Hello, governor.
It says hi and a big smile.
Yes.
Appreciate that. Thank you. You're in for a good time today. Nam Fanello Malloy, who's a member, says hello. Well, thank you for that. We appreciate it. Gore rant, says Shucksy. Wait until you hear what the rant's about. Maybe a Film Threat first double Gore rant today. Thinking about it. Colt Seaman, who's a member, says shalom, everyone. Hopefully I spelled that correctly. It depends on what you're trying to spell, I guess. David Glenn, hello, everyone. Alan Horkin, Tetris movie could be fun. Can't wait for Alan Ng to review the new Adam Driver movie 65. I think it's 65 million years. Is that the name of the film? I think.
Yeah, 65.
That's right. 65, not actually the number you're normally obsessed with, but I did see the trailer for that Tetris movie that's coming to Apple TV Plus, and I think it looks pretty good. It's Taron Egerton. It's the people who got the rights to Tetris to bring it onto the Game Boy and then blow it up in the United States as like a big video game. And look, as a former Tetris addict, it looks fun. I love really interesting tidbits like that about pop culture history, the story behind how something happened. Strong recommendation for a book called Game Over. Have you ever heard of this book, Alan?
I've heard of the book, yes.
So Game Over is really about the console wars, but it starts at the very beginning, whereas Nintendo began in the early 1900s as a playing card company, and it tracks the rise and battles between like Sega, Sony, Nintendo. It's a fantastic read. When you read it, it almost reads like The Godfather. Some of like the links these companies went through to jockey for position. So strong recommendation for a book. I know it's been rewritten. I read the original edition back in the day. There have been several editions, updated editions. Just look up Game Over. Great book.
I'll be totally honest. I thought Tetris was a completely different movie. More like the Liam Neeson Battleship movie. Something like
it's not that. No, it's about.
And then when you said Taron Egerton, I'm going, oh, this is going to be great. It's some kind of sci-fi action Tetris.
No, it's about the people who got the rights to Tetris to bring it to the United States as a video game and how its rise in popularity.
I'm profoundly less interested in the movie now.
All right, well, we'll see about that.
Yeah.
Also, Elliot Cecil for $4.99 says, got any great classic noir films or neo-noir recommendations? Well, I would always recommend Blade Runner, but I do. And it's been remade several times. So take your pick. You can get the original version of DOA or the one with Dennis Quaid that was made in the 80s. It's a neo-noir. It's a noir film called DOA. It's about a guy who inadvertently has slipped some poison. He only has like a day or two to live, so he's tasked with solving his own murder. There's no cure for it. He will be dead, and he's just going to solve his murder. So look up DOA. It's probably one of the greatest noir films ever made. It's been remade more than a few times, if I recall. But yeah, check that out. Adrian Curry is here. Adrian Curry, my hubby is the VO trailer guy for 65. Are you kidding, Adrian? That's amazing. All right. Well, I had already planned to see it. Now I've got even more reason.
Yeah.
Congratulations to your husband. That's fantastic. Yeah. And thank you for being a member. Adrian Curry, always supporting. So I love that about her. She's awesome. Dom T, if a Lego movie can be great, why not Tetris? Just needs a creative people at the helm. Well, it's not like you. I think, Dom, you incorrectly assumed, like Alan, that it was like, I feel like they could make Pong into a movie at this point. I mean, they made Battleship, which is so ridiculous.
Yeah. You're about to say they made Battleship into a movie.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, look, I watched that movie. I saw that movie. What's the actor's name? Is it Tyler Kitsch? I believe that's his name. Can you look it up, Alan?
What movie?
For Battleship.
Oh,
don't
that Liam Neeson?
Don't make me play the.
No, I'm going to use my iPad for
this. John Carter. You know John Carter of Mars.
Yes.
I believe it's Tyler Kitsch, and he's kind of disappeared since then. I think it was in the second season of True Detective, but we'll see on that.
Yeah.
Don T says, hello, good people. Alan, I'm still waiting. Pirate Queen, hey everyone.
Yes, it is Tyler Kitsch.
It is Tyler Kitsch.
And Alexander Skarsgård. And Brooklyn Decker.
All right, well, look at you. That's great. You just used your iPad. See, it was painless. That was awesome. Red Terror 1978 says, hey there. Plungers, says Omar Abdullah.
Yeah, you got that one already.
I may have gotten that one. And we have a super chat that just came in from Dream Profit for $4.99. What happened to the Larry Kasanoff Tetris trilogy? Look it up. It's crazy. Also, I love DOA with Dennis Quaid and Meg Ryan. Yeah, the 80s remake was fun. The original kind of has a place in my heart. It's in black and white. It's very much noir, but multiple versions remade for the time. But yeah, check it out. DOA, probably one of the great film noir classics. All right, Alan.
Yes.
Are you ready?
Depends on what you're bringing up next.
Well, we got a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
We promised people we're going to talk about Marvel. I got a couple rants I want to get into.
Yeah. We have several reviews that we've been putting off.
The reviews that we've been putting off. What should we talk about first? Let's go Marvel. Is that why most people Marvel? Let's go.
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
Okay, so
you got to play those after the 20-minute mark.
What? Oh, really? What? Are we going to get in trouble?
Yeah, we can get in trouble for profanity in the.
I didn't say anything. I know
you didn't say anything.
All right. Well, look.
I'm just saying.
I guess we're limited on the
YouTube and the rules. YouTube and the rules.
Okay. Well, we'll follow most of them. All right. We have now seen the beginnings of Phase 5. Kang is here, and we've seen a version of Kang. Now this is the second version. If you've been keeping up and you watched season 1 of Loki, you've now seen that version of Kang. We saw a different version of Kang at the end of Ant-Man 3. So Where are we in the Marvel Cinematic Universe? How excited are we? Because things are getting complicated. I saw this graphic floating around online. I don't know who originally created it, but I want to share it. I want to share it with you because it just sort of shows where we are and where everything is. Okay. Let's see. I had it up here. Things are getting complicated. Someone put together this montage. Here's where we are. And if you're just a casual Marvel fan, I don't know. Can a casual Marvel fan name all those heroes on that montage there? Alan, can you? You're a super fan, right?
Yeah. What are you asking me again?
I'm
Sorry,
asking you, can you name all of the characters on this little
I believe
graphic?
in this particular graphic, I believe I could, yes.
You could definitely do that.
I could definitely name, I would say 90% of the characters.
All right, I'm going to zoom in a little bit because I want you to see. All right, so, okay.
Like there's several Iron Mans there.
All right.
With
Okay.
Warmonger, or Killmonger, sorry.
It's just, I feel like we've now gotten to just ridiculous extremes.
Yeah.
It's getting a little ridiculous with the just number of characters and just so this is where I think that what possibly I foresee happening, and I think we'll see it with the box office, the second weekend box office of Ant-Man, is that normies are going to be lost. I think if you just went into Ant-Man for fun, you probably had an okay time. But if you were really paying attention to the plot, I believe it kind of falls apart, falls apart for me. I want to hear what your thoughts are, Alan. What are the movies you're looking forward to for Phase 5? Next up, we have Guardians of the Galaxy 3 and the Marvels on November 10th. They just moved the date. What are your thoughts?
I'm looking forward to Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm very excited about Guardians of the Galaxy because I think that's a good ending to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and that we'll have good feelings about a group of characters that we've loved over the years, their wacky adventures, and as you know, the Guardians of the Galaxy are coming to an end, and with that will come the end of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So I'm excited about it, and looking forward to new things beyond that. New things. Who knows? Maybe the gun DCEU. Maybe we'll fly into that. But yeah, I'm looking at all the Phase 5s. The Marvel comes next.
Could you share a screen for? Do you have like a Phase 5 graphic?
I'll just say it because I think there's only 3 movies after that next year. Captain America: New World Order.
Okay.
Thunderbolts and
don't care.
And Blade, and maybe, yeah. But there's no good buzz coming out of any of those 3 films.
Yeah, so beyond Guardians 3, Marvel has what I would describe as a very weak slate. Mm-hmm. Let's take a look at some statistics. This turned up on, I don't know if you can see that graphic. This turned up from a guy named Zach Bouders, who I follow on Twitter. He did a little thing, a little data graphic. I love infographics. I'm like a huge fan of infographics. I don't know. I just like them. I just think that they're cool. So he compiled some let me zoom in so you can see it a little bit better. Maybe for those of you that are watching the show. I know a lot of people listen to the show, but let me zoom in for a bit. And I'll read this. The state of the MCU between Phase 1, 2008 to Phase 4, 2022, Marvel Studios has released 30 MCU films, grossing a combined $28.3 billion at the box office, netting, although I would argue this figure, netting $21.8 billion. More statistics from this thread. Phase 3 not only brought in the most box office and had the highest number of films at 11, but also had a greater ROI, return on investment, with Marvel Studios making $5.2 million for every dollar spent. Phases 1, 2, and 4 each averaged less than $4. Let's take a look at that graphic. I don't know if you can see that on screen.
Slightly.
pretty interesting. So it's comparing the phases of the different phases 1, 2, 3, and 4. Phase 3 made the most money, right? And you look, it was a slow build. Phase 4, that's a drop. I don't other than Guardians 3, which is I believe Guardians 3 is going to sunset those characters. I mean, they may turn up in an Avengers movie, who knows? But I really believe after James Gunn's involvement with Marvel, when that ends, I think that those characters will also end. It doesn't mean they're still not going to be in the theme parks or they'll have a theme park ride, but I think those characters are kind of done after that. This is when you look at the combined, box office for those phases. And phase 3, you have to admit, like, it did have the most. It was the two biggest movies, Infinity War and Endgame. So those figures should not surprise you. Let's continue down with some of these numbers. Zach goes on, at a per film level, we see that phase 3 has the most films with above average profit ratios. What's masked at a phase level, though, is what a smash success Spider-Man No Way Home is, with the single highest profit ratio of $9.6 back for every dollar spent. Now, he's using this chart, and he's also getting this stuff from Wikipedia. So hopefully this information is sourced.
Hopefully we're close.
We're close, but looking at these movies, phase 1, 2, 3, and 4, it's very interesting when you look at the ROI and where things are going. Now, none of the first 3 phases of Marvel were burdened by competing with television shows or having the necessity of a TV show be required viewing in order to understand the context of a movie. So I think that that's going to hurt Marvel going forward. And I want to hear your thoughts as we go through these charts. Zach goes on, based on the profitability of Spider-Man No Way Home, let's view things by character franchise. Spider-Man is the single most profitable franchise in the MCU, 7.2 ratio, followed by Captain Marvel with a single film so far. The Avengers, 5.4 ratio, Black Panther, Iron Man, etc. So check it out. This is by franchise. Now, Captain Marvel admittedly had the one movie. Okay. So I don't know that that's a really fair. I think that you might want to include only characters that have had more than one film. Okay. But here we are. So you got Spider-Man, 3.93 billion at the box office, Captain Marvel, 1.13 billion. Remember, sandwiched between Infinity War and Endgame, the Avengers franchise being the top of all of them at 7.77 billion. So wow, 4 Avengers movies and you've got almost $8 billion. So that's interesting to look at it by franchise. It basically starts with Spider-Man. Here's top to bottom: Spider-Man, Captain Marvel, Avengers, Black Panther, Iron Man, Guardians of the Galaxy, Doctor Strange, Captain America, Thor, Ant-Man, Shang-Chi, Eternals, Black Widow, and Hulk. There you go. Continuing on. Do you have any questions or comments on all this?
I mean, who are the most successful ones? It's the OG. It's the iconic Marvel characters.
Well,
so far Spider-Man is left.
Right, but I mean, Captain Marvel throws that off. I don't know if that's fair, only because there's only.
Yeah, I mean, let's be real about Captain Marvel. It was wedged in between 2 Avengers movies, and it was must viewing. In the sense of to get it was pivotal to Endgame, quote unquote. So it got a boost that way. No other film has that kind of boost, has that kind of need that you have to see it in order to get the full Avengers experience at that point.
Okay, and going on, it's almost over. These top 5 franchises by profit ratio show us that while Avengers bring in viewers, Marvel Studios doesn't have to spend billions to make billions. Single character franchises with lighter budgets can earn significantly without the risk and expense of mega blockbusters. So this is the chart proving the premise based on numbers from Wikipedia, which I might argue. And then he sort of ends it with little Tom Holland's with Robert Downey, and this is what Zach Bouters, and thank you, Zach, I'm just sharing this. It's on your public Twitter. He says, with Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man shelved, Black Panther star passed on, many of the key Avengers retired, and Captain Marvel's team-up sequel delayed, it looks like an opportune time for Marvel to look to Tom Holland's Spider-Man for leadership. That's what he says. I don't know if I 100% agree with that, but there you go. So what are your thoughts, Alan, on all of this? What do you think of these numbers? I think my thing is, and especially when you look at everyone's only people are only talking about the Marvels moving to the fall, which I think is smart. We haven't seen a trailer from it. My understanding is there have been multiple reshoots for that film.
Yeah.
But
I'm guessing now that what I saw at D23 will no longer be there. Will no longer be
no,
there.
I don't think that's going to be it. But I think that I really believe the TV shows have hurt Marvel as a brand. I think that there is such a thing as too much of a good thing. And that's what we're seeing with these numbers. And, look, the story's not over for Ant-Man. Second weekend is really going to tell the story. I kind of knew it would be like that the third Ant-Man movie, based on the spectacle, based on Kang, etc., that it would be, it would be big for Ant-Man. But I still think you're looking at diminishing returns when it comes to Marvel as an overall brand. Let's look at some of any final comments before we.
Yeah, I don't think it's the TV series that did it. It's just bad writing. It's people who don't. It's two things. A, people who don't understand comic books, probably never read comic books. They just think they know how to tell an action story. And two, I hate the term MCU, but there's some validity to it in the sense of, Disney bought Marvel because Disney princesses appealed to girls, Marvel superheroes appealed to boys, and that was a way to bring in another set of dollars, another revenue stream. And it seems like for some reason they just they don't care about boys anymore, and they're shifting, they're shifting too far to the extreme on one end. We could claim, yeah, it was all men at the beginning, but now it feels like we're shifting to the other extreme when we need to really find that balance. And so I think the real problem is the leadership. No one at the top is insisting that we study why people like these things in the past and bring it into the movies today, like they did in phases 1 through 3.
I just think the streaming shows there, I don't think there's been one that's been a hit. There have been more complaints than praise heaped upon the streaming shows. And I don't want to have to watch the TV shows to understand what's happening in the universe. And I think those that gasped, at the end of Ant-Man 3 might have been one. They're either two. They're gasping because they're confused. What's Loki doing there? Didn't he die? Or they're gasping because, season 2 Loki promo. But I don't know. Here's someone with some thoughts.
Listen, Jinx, here's the deal. If you know anything about me, and clearly you don't, the last thing I am is a simp / shill. The last thing. Anything that I put my name to in a review is going to be, I believe, 120% that this film is entertaining. It delivers what you want out of it.
Oh, listen, just one more thing.
All right, that was, of course, our
You're
friend.
lucky Eric doesn't watch this stream.
He never watches. I watch Eric all the time.
I know.
But he doesn't watch the stream. That's Eric Weber at Midnight Movie Talk. Shout out to him. He's got a good sense of humor. Subscribe to his show. Any case, look, I'll just tell you something, and this is anecdotal. I was at Target this morning picking up some groceries, and what did I see? Lots and lots of Wakanda Forever toys sitting there, and a lot of toys. They're all marked down, folks. They're all marked down. But let's go to your comments. And Alan, thank you so much for starring all the comments. I really appreciate it. It helps me out here. Pilgrim Media for 2. Can I have a live action Space Invaders? Kidding. That's coming. Eric Winberg for 2 says 2 minutes, Alan. We are counting. All right. Thank you for that. Solomon Thornton, Ant-Man 3 had so much potential. It could have been Ant-Man versus MODOK and AIM. They should have done that. take a risk. That is what phase 1 to 3. That's what made phase 1 to 3 great. The creators took risks. Adrian Curry says, just looking at Captain Marvel makes me lose all will to live. Here's the problem I have with Captain Marvel is Brie Larson is miscast. I think that's the big issue. I think that, and this is hard to say, why is it that certain actors, Paul Rudd oozes charisma. Paul Rudd is so charismatic. I like Paul Rudd, even if the movie is bad. I can't say the same about Brie Larson. And you can sit there and you can, cry misogyny or whatever, but some actor, Michelle Pfeiffer in Ant-Man is great. I don't like exactly what they gave her to work with. She is fantastic in the film. So why is it just certain actors, you get a sense, likable, not likable? Why is Ryan Gosling eating cereal more interesting than Captain Marvel saving the galaxy? By the way, look up Ryan Gosling eating cereal. For some reason, in more than one film, Ryan Gosling can be seen eating cereal. Did you know that, Alan? You can find videos of it.
I remember him doing it in Nice Guys. That's for sure.
There you go. Thank you, Adrian. Miss you. Appion, Guardians 3, let's go. The Swan Song. It is going to be my understanding. I know someone who has seen the movie and says it's James Gunn pure. The characters, it's going to tug at heartstrings is all I'm going to say. There's a lot of things very unexpected.
By the way, when I bought my Reva action figure, this was on the clear.
Well, there you go. There we go.
I took this picture. This is what.
We'll see which Black Panther is it? Is it T'Challa?
Yeah, it's really hard to tell. I think, is it Shuri? I mean, this is definitely from Wakanda Forever, so I'm assuming this is Shuri.
Yeah, everything is clearance now. It's just that. I think it's really because, and I hate to say this, yes, mostly these things are for young boys. Now, there's a significant number of female Marvel fans, and I think part of that has to do with beefcake. I've said it before. Look, if you're a man and you're in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, you will take your shirt off and you will flex your pecs. Chris Evans as Steve Rogers emerging from the capsule where he's given these soldiers super serum and that chest. Look, that's a moment. That's a moment. Chris Hemsworth getting shirtless as Thor. He gets naked in the 4th Thor movie. I mean, there's a reason that there are female, there are a lot of female Marvel fans. They're a legit female nerd fan, but I believe it started out as mostly for boys, and it's a large tent. Everyone's welcome to be a fan. Mm-hmm. I've definitely seen the demographic, having gone to Comic-Con for so many years. The demographic has changed from the 90s when it was, frankly, mostly dudes going to San Diego Comic-Con. And it was around 2007 that the landscape and the demographic of San Diego Comic-Con changed. So,
yeah. But I mean, I would submit that that's not a bad thing.
I'm also saying it's not a bad thing.
Yeah. But for some reason it is. And we'll get called out on it. But hate to say it, hate to get political, but there are fundamental differences between boys and girls.
Lord Thoth, who's a member, says those aren't the OG Guardians. Just saying. First of all, I agree because I remember the original Guardians of the Galaxy comic, and it was weird. Mm-hmm. So when the Guardians of the Galaxy movie came out, I'm like, oh, I hadn't been reading it recently, so I didn't know they kind of went through a team change. Yeah, it was fine. It was fine. Like the spirit of it is like a cosmic story, so it didn't bother me.
Yeah, I mean, I read the original Guardians. I mean, it was great to see Yondu, even though that wasn't exactly the Yondu I remembered from the comics. But they kind of brought them all back, the OG back in Guardians 2. But that was just, I get it. I get why they did it.
John Mantling says, I attended a packed 10 a.m. showing for Ant-Man 3, and after the movie, not a single clap was heard. I really think a lot of it is fatigue. It's just Marvel fatigue. Pilgrim Media for 2. Why aren't these studios swinging for the fences? You would think. John Thomas for 10. Chris, you're wrong. I loved Battleship in all its glorious awfulness. It has two redeeming things. Is one of them Rihanna? That trumps any criticism. One, the portrayal of wounded warriors. And two, the Mighty Mo shoots a full broadside. You know what? I'll give you that. I actually think that is fair. I'll give that to you. Let's see. Snakes and Funerals for 5 says, is it time for the Baby Avengers spinoff yet? Disney needs to milk this cow dry.
Don't they have one?
Hey, I don't know.
No, they have a kids Disney Junior Spider-Man show.
Oh, that's funny. Mexican Iron Man. Mike, good to see you here. We got to hang out. Maybe at WonderCon. Maybe you'll be there. If this chart is using the wiki, then profit cannot be corrected because they exclude and failed to include other factors that affect true net profitability, like marketing and dust splits, in my opinion. Well, you would know, Mike. You're a finance guy. That's why I said I question the numbers. I like the idea of a premise, like let's do a thread and let's look at this, but I question those numbers. Thank you, Mike, for the support here. MK Solid 82 for $4.99. Chris, have you seen the retro Indiana Jones figures coming from Hasbro? They are amazing. I have not seen those, but I'm familiar with that retro company. Retro action figures, they're great. They put out like the original Alien 1979 figures. They're fantastic. So yeah, I have not seen that they're doing Indiana Jones ones. That's great.
Is there a melty faced Nazi dude?
Yeah, you could just make one. Eric Stratton for 777. Regarding the question earlier, Film Noir recommendations, Thin Man movie series, great comedy detective series with great female co-lead. I will. I'm familiar with the Thin Man, and I'm just giving my personal was DOA. 600 people watching us live. Please smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. We are almost closing in. On
69,000
subscribers. We're at like 67. We're getting close.
69.
Yeah, we're going to get to 69,000. We are going to get to 69,000.
And we have over 600 people in the chat. So everyone head over and subscribe if you haven't.
Please. Thank you for that suggestion. Charles Davis Etkin for 10. Those Disney Plus shows are 25 million per episode, 225 million per season. Marvel movie profits can't cover those losses. Where is this money going? Less episodes, pay for some writers. Well, I would say hire writers that like comic books. Just sort of that would be a suggestion. Too many of the writers have come out and admitted like, yeah, I wasn't really a fan of the comics, or being a fan of the comics is a red flag. If being a fan of the comics is a red flag, James Gunn would have had nothing to do with the MCU. And I think that his contribution cannot be understated, which is why I'm cautiously optimistic for the new DCU. And we'll see. I don't know. I feel a little bit bad for James because every week there's a hashtag fire James Gunn. He hasn't done anything yet.
Yeah. And here's the bigger question: who are you going to replace him with?
Yeah,
who are you going to replace him with? That's going to do a better job, has experience with comic books and with movies, and is a guy who has that kind of a vision. Okay, maybe he does. Yeah, who are you going to replace him with? That's the question.
That's the other thing. Like, and the only thing I disagree with is Henry Cavill. I think Henry Cavill should have been kept. So there you go. Jessica Kyle, Jocelyn, what are you doing there? Shake from Hunger Team for 10. Chris, this might be off topic, but when does your Attack of the Doc come out? Well, I actually have posted on the community tab. If you follow Attack of the Doc on social media, on Instagram and Twitter, at Attack of the Doc, we are doing a screening April 21st at 7 p.m. at the Frida Cinema in Santa Ana, California. It's effectively going to be something of almost a G4 reunion. That is Friday, April 21st. Tickets go on sale in March. We're just going to do a limited theatrical showings. Then the movie comes out on digital for purchase. That's video on demand on April 24th. April 24th is the 21st anniversary of G4 TV. And that is the day you will be able to get Attack of the Dock. Now, if you're a Kickstarter backer, you're going to get your video on demand copy before that. And then the Blu-ray will be out sometime in June or July. We're not announcing a date yet, but it's mainly because the Blu-ray is so packed that I'm taking my time. I only have to put out one Blu-ray for that movie ever, and I want it to be great.
Yes.
So that's the release date, April 21st. I feel bad because I'm like, I'm not trying to hide it, it's like, but if you look the very top of social media, it's, we've even posted on the community tab on both there's like an Attack of the Dock YouTube channel. But yeah, Shake, thank you for that. You will be able to see it then. And then eventually it'll be on a streaming service as well, where if you don't want to pay for it, you just have to suffer through some commercials. So
I think it's safe to say that. Yeah,
Thank you for your interest.
That Olivia Munn may or definitely will not be there.
I'm leaning towards not, but there you go. But no, look, I appreciate the support. I hope you pay for it when you see it, and I hope you really like it. A lot of just blood, sweat, tears, and love went into that, and everyone who worked on the movie were all like super fans of G4. So yeah. Thank you for that, Shake. I hope you really enjoy. You know what I'll do? I'll do a watch party. When the movie comes out, we'll do a watch party for it. How about that?
Yeah.
I'm all right. It's settled. When the movie comes out, we'll do a watch party. We'll get, some of the filmmakers, some people from G4. We will do a watch party for Attack of the Dock when you can publicly get it. So there you go. Pilgrim Media for 2. Who will play live action Jessica Rabbit? Who will do that? Alan?
Well, based on the posters, it has to be Karen Gillan. I have no idea.
Any other? I would say there's an adult film actress named Lauren Phillips. Don't Google it. Just trust me when I say she would make a perfect Jessica Rabbit. I believe she was on Chrissy Mayer's show. Chrissy Mayer, who I am seeing tomorrow night. If you're going to see Chrissy Mayer in Pasadena, I will be at that show. Yeah. It is apparently sold out.
It is sold out. Yes.
It is sold out because you tried to get tickets.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, it's sold out. That's just the way it is. What can you say? Christina Hendricks. Oh my God. That's a great Steve O'Cal. That's a great suggestion. Great suggestion. Oh wait, $50. Holy cow. Creative 24 for 50. Oh my God. Thank you so much. Wow. We don't get large super chats like that a lot. So it's a cause for celebration here. I almost think, you know what we got to do? We got to bring back an oldie but a goodie for that one. It's just too good. Alan, what do you say? What do you say we fire it up?
Sure.
We had to bring that one back because I'm so pleased. Creative 24 for 50. Hey guys, huge fan of Chris since Attack of the Show days and a new fan of Alan's thoughtful takes. I hope I can get my first feature film, End of Youth, in front of you to review. It would be a dream come true. Keep up the amazing work. There's a very easy way to do that. We will review anything. How does it work? You go to filmthreat.com. There's a little button at the top that says submit. If you're a filmmaker, you submit your movie to us for review. Now, unfortunately, we've got only 30 writers that write for the website located all over the world. And even with 30 writers contributing 4 reviews minimum a month, and Alan writing about 20 of those, am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. In fact,
About
I think
20.
I think you're lowballing the number there.
I might be lowballing the 25, 30 reviews a month. Bobby Lapierre, one of our other editors, writes quite a few. Even with that amount of output, we're still not able to keep up. So we review only about half of the movies that are submitted for review, but we allow you for a small fee to support our work. And you're guaranteed to get your movie reviewed on the website within 7 to 10 days. And we do not have big corporate sponsors at all. On Film Threat, we don't have corporate advertising. We don't get big advertising. As much as Alan attempts to be a shill, none of the money makes it my way. Alan genuinely likes the things he likes. So
yeah.
So there you go. But all you have to do is fill out that form and submit it. But within we would try to review about 50% of the movies submitted to us for free within like 90 days, but we only cover half. There's just like,
there's just no time.
We get thousands of submissions, so we do our best. But if you pay the fee, it helps us support the website. Money goes to the writers, and you get additional promotion for that. So we promote on social media your movie. So Creative 24, submit the film. Go with our fast pass option or try some of our other promotional plans. We always try to over deliver when it comes to getting exposure for your movies. So check that out.
Also, make sure it's a good movie. Then I'll get a good review.
Yeah, I will say this. Even if you pay our submission fee, it doesn't guarantee a good review.
Yeah, that's the important thing people know.
I'm sorry to say, some filmmakers have learned that lesson. I feel really bad, but I just gotta say, we're gonna be honest no matter what. But we're here to support indie filmmakers. We appreciate support from the indie film community so we can continue to do what we do. Another super chat here from Buford T. Justice for $19.99. Good to see you here. I see you on other streams, Buford. I know you. Here we go. He's going to say, I disagree with you, Chris. We haven't gotten anything good in phase 4 other than Spider-Man No Way Home. So it isn't too much of a good thing. It's too much crap. And Marvel, Disney attacking and demonizing fans. Fair point.
Yeah. I think the big issue is nothing's changed. Ever since.
Well, yeah, that's the big issue.
Since No Way Home came out, no lessons were learned. Absolutely no lessons were learned. And we're continuing down the slog that we are. With Marvel.
Phase 4 has been, I'm trying to think, there's no argument. Spider-Man No Way Home, best movie of phase 4. What's the second best movie? I can't think of it.
There's got to be one.
See?
I mean, if I had to vote, it would be Doctor Strange.
What's the second best movie of phase 4?
Yeah, I would have to say it's Doctor Strange, but there's a big gap between first and second.
I can't think of it.
Something has to be second. That's the thing.
Adrian Curry says for 20. Thank you, Adrian. You don't have to do that, but I appreciate it. Everyone, give Chris and Alan your money. That's awesome. MK Solid 82 for $1.99. Has any of the old G4 cast showed interest?
Yes, Olivia Munn has shown no interest. So.
It's not. Here's the thing about the doc. It's not about the new G4.
Yeah.
It's about the old G4. Wait, it's some of the old G4 cast showed interest.
That's right.
Oh, old G4 cast. So there'll be some people there. I have reached out to Kevin Pereira. We'll see. I don't know yet. I have reached out to Kevin. In fact, I sent him a screener of the movie. So we'll see. Kevin, previous to G4, he went on this sort of sabbatical where he just went in a van and traveled all over the country. I have the utmost respect for Kevin. He's the best person I've ever worked with in television. And I would love, more than any other person, I'd love to see Kevin at the screening. There's still time. And, we'll see. It's going to be very interesting. It's playing in a theater. We're adding multiple showings because I expect it to sell out. And I hope some of the old cast shows up. You know what? The new cast is also welcome. Thank you for that, MK82. Jessica Chastain would have been perfect. I agree with you.
Interesting choice.
Jessica Rabbit.
That's an interesting one.
Wait, Buford T. Justice again for $9.99. If James Gunn was really a comic book fan, he wouldn't be giving us Damian Wayne as the first Robin, and he wouldn't be giving us a gay Superman Batman before we get the real Batman Superman. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that comic that what is it? The Authority? Is that what it is that they're making?
I think so.
He did that sort of lackluster announcement. I would have advised against that. In fact, I would just advise James Gunn, you're running this big company, you're writing the new Superman movie, how much can you do? Do you really need to be on social media? I might just tweet, a couple times a year, tweet when a new trailer comes out or something. But I have the utmost respect for James Gunn. And I also, knowing the position that he's in, he's got to this is now the third kind of soft reboot of the DC universe. First being Zack Snyder, second being what Joss Whedon came up with, that sort of bizarre Frankenstein Justice League. I say give James a chance, but I would not be wasting my time responding to people on social media. So that would just be my personal advice for James. He also just got married. Dude, you got it all. You got the best job in the world. Lovely wife. Mostly people are fans of what you're doing. So there you go. Yeah, that's what I would say. Elliot Cecil for $1.99 says, is Severance as good as people say? Should I watch? I watched the first episode, didn't finish it. I did enjoy it. I did enjoy what I saw. I think it's only a couple episodes. I should just finish it.
Yeah.
I'll probably do that.
Unfortunately, we're the wrong place for TV.
Yeah. Shakti says, if Alan gives Attack of the Dock a negative review, Chris will fire him immediately. No, I respect Alan too much.
But it's the greatest documentary ever made. And
it's going on.
I will not shill for Film Threat. But Film Threat is the greatest indie
Film Threat, I think, is great. I think Film Threat's great. I think
so too.
We try to run it in a way where it's like a lot of different voices are represented. You might hate a particular reviewer, and that's cool, but you might also love Alan. You might disagree with my opinions, but you'll find someone that's the whole, to me, it's the kind of diversity that matters. It's diversity of thought. So TT says, any word on Critics Court holding Disney accountable for the murder of the Star Wars franchise? We had planned to do that, and Alan and I have just been too busy. We're still trying to find a producer to help us with chat. That's where we are. We have a couple people, and my apologies for not reaching out. We have a couple people that I think are at least two really good candidates to help us with the chat, but we need even more than that. We need like support during the show. So I will get back to you. You know who we are. I've had a couple email exchanges. So Adrian Curry, Megan Fox would be a good Jessica Rabbit. She looks like a hot cartoon now. There you go. Shoot, I unstarred some chats. I didn't mean to do that. Porky's is greater than the MCU, says Steve O'Cal. Yeah, that's could be said that. Faust out loud. Shang-Chi wasn't as bad as people say. That actually may be like,
that is my second.
That might be my second. And I'm not saying it's great because it's like it introduces some new ideas. I like the story of the parents more than actually Shang-Chi himself. Shang-Chi wasn't as bad as people say. I don't know why everyone hates on it. The woman was annoying, but that was it. I actually like Aquafina.
You're talking Aquafina, you're talking about the sister.
Yeah, maybe the sister. Yeah, but I would agree with you. Like No Way Home, top, no one argues. No one is going to argue that. Second best, but this is not saying much because this is phase 4, right?
Right.
Because I think our expectations are higher. I think this is the thing that really struck me. And thank you, Faust Out Loud, for your insightful comment. Here's the thing that really struck me. There are no stakes anymore. We know there are going to be more Marvel movies, right? There are no stakes in the sense that we know Kang is not going to be ultimately defeated. Well, this version of Kang. So how do they ultimately resolve that? I think maybe they would have been better off doing Secret Wars or even like with the Skrulls, right? Like, or like I just think a Skrull, like who is a Skrull, who isn't a Skrull, who has been a Skrull all along? Maybe someone that we knew was a Skrull, between a certain period of time that would kind of back us into phase 1, 2, and 3. Like, oh, this person was a Skrull all along. It's this or something. It would have been so cool. But I think a multiverse story is just not. And also, it's just I think it's confusing to audiences that aren't longtime comic book fans because we've seen better multiverse stories. For example, Crisis on Infinite Earths, when they did it the first time back in the 80s. I think haven't they done it again? And they did that show. There was the CW kind of attempted to do it, and I watched a trailer for it, and it just looked like a fan film to me.
Like a multiverse show?
No, Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Oh,
they
okay.
did on the CW. It what I saw of it was like, okay, that's kind of I'm good. But the thing that I think is really missing is a level of seriousness that the events matter. Now, I don't think Ant-Man as a character has ever been much of a serious character. Ant-Man's always been like comic relief side character, perfect in that role. But if you're going to introduce Kang, maybe this was not, maybe what I liked about the way they introduced Thanos is he was in the shadows. He was pulling the strings he was the puppeteer behind the scenes. I like that aspect. I don't like an aspect of, well, this Kang is, weak, and this Kang is kind of like this, and this Kang is dressed like Steve Martin doing the King Tut song. No one remembers that reference. No one remembers the King Tut song that Steve Martin did.
The Grammy Award winning song.
The Grammy Award winning Steve Martin. Read his autobiography, Born on the Stage, a great book.
Mhm.
Yeah, our genuine. My first exposure to Ant-Man was Garrett Morris on SNL. So I think the thing that's missing with thank you for your comment, our genuine. I think the thing that's missing is seriousness.
Mhm.
There was the early phase 1, 2, and 3 balanced seriousness with comedy. As soon as Guardians of the Galaxy came in, they leaned way too much into comedy, where certain characters, you can have comedic moments, you can have moments of lightness, but I kind of think it's a mistake to lose the level of seriousness. I think Hank Pym and Janet Van Dyne probably should have died in Ant-Man 3. There should have been stakes. There should have been some cost for it. It would have ended on a downer, or maybe they could have sacrificed themselves. Maybe they're trapped in the quantum realm. They'll come back.
Yeah, I think the better solution was that Scott and Hope were stuck in the quantum realm, and they don't appear again until Avengers Kang Dynasty.
Well, they wanted to end on a happy note, and that's what they did. And
I know, but
there you go. But
interesting storytelling. That's what we want, and they're not giving that to us.
well, the thing that's missing is serious stakes.
Yeah.
That's the thing that is absolutely missing right
Even
now.
Thor was serious.
Yeah,
It
well,
didn't get wacky until Taika Waititi took over.
correct. Let's keep going through these comments here, and then we're gonna pivot to some other topics. Larry says Fantastic Four comics introduce so many characters, yet no FF movie or TV show. I do not have the confidence as a long time Fantastic Four fan. I don't have the confidence that a Disney version of the Fantastic Four will be worthwhile.
They'll screw it up.
I loved reading those comics. Issues 49, 50, 51, the coming of Galactus, the Silver Surfer's first appearance. That 3-issue arc changed my life when I read that as a kid. It was, I said, I will never see a movie or read a story as good as this. It was epic. Now, I've since read a lot more things, so whatever. But at the time when I was a kid, I might have been like 7, 8 years old, and read that Fantastic Four comic. Fantastic Four was my gateway comic. It was that, and I was a fan of Batman. So we'll see. I don't know. Dr. Doom as another big bad would be great. I mean, would be great. Appian, who is Steve Martin? Exactly. Steve Martin with the white suit, a banjo, and an arrow through his head. Good times, says Ryan Landis. Steve O'Cal says, Sackhoff and Larson are like dudes. Carol Danvers is actually a very feminine character. Well, I think I miss even femininity in characters in movies. It's just there's a severe lack of it. They're afraid to, look, part of being feminine is also being sexy, right? That's just the way it is. Men can be sex objects. Women can be sex objects. I believe in equality, and I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Now, is it gratuitous? I don't think it's ever been gratuitous in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But the MCU has been sexy at times, both male and female.
Mm-hmm.
Check out that video of Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow walking, and Jon Favreau doing a Tex Avery wolf eyes, where it's like, it's kind of crazy. John Manaling says, yeah, Alan's right. It's just bad writing, quality constantly being pushed. I think they're hiring the wrong people is what it is. And they're encouraging activism, which is a mistake. David Ebekemi, my apologies. I hope I got that right. David Ebekemi, for £5. Evening, guys from London. Totally agree with your point about the stakes. Kind of feel multiverse storyline, kind of lazy storytelling, in my opinion, in my view. I would agree with you, David. I think the problem with the multiverse storyline is you can kill characters and bring them back. You can wipe away events that have occurred that are catastrophic. You can reset things back to normal, like any episode of a sitcom. It's like, the apartment building can blow up, someone can go away, things can happen, and then by the end, Jack Tripper is still roommates pretending to be gay with two incredibly attractive women. Okay, people don't remember Three's Company. I'm sorry for that.
It was 4 incredibly attractive women.
Was it 4?
Well, they swapped.
Well, they changed
character in and out. Yeah.
I think when you say swapped, I'm concerned about exactly what you mean by that, Alan.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when they got rid of Chrissy. 69.
See, exactly.
That's not swapping.
Yeah. All right. Back to Alan. How's your internet?
Chris, my internet is working.
All right, let's back to comments here. They're coming in fast and furious.
That one's loud, by the way.
Is it loud? My apologies for those listening. Razor Burn for 5. Chris, you a fan of the Critical Drinker? Not only am I a fan, been on his show. It's great. We DM. He is going to be here for Atlanta Comic Convention end of February. Hope you can make it to Dragon Con. I would like to attend Dragon Con. How do I attend Dragon Con? I will show Attack of the Dock at Dragon Con. How about that? And it's right around I very good friend Shane Mackey in Atlanta. And I would love to. Atlanta Comic Convention. I didn't even know about that. But Drinker's a great dude. We've DM'd and I've been on a show. He did a video about RRR I thought was great. By the way, quick RRR is coming back to theaters. RRR is coming back to theaters. It's hitting 200 theaters starting March 3rd. It's going to be in San Antonio, Texas, which means Gary Beekler from Nerdrotic can go see RRR in a theater. Throwing the gauntlet down. Latino Slant. Thank you, Paulie, for $1.99. For Alan, Papayan.
Papayan.
Hortense Prince of Hate for $1.99. I need my boyfriend. What is that a reference?
It's very out of context there.
I'm not sure. Dream Prophet. I think they delayed the Marvels to close the gap between it and the next theatrical release. They didn't want the audiences dwelling on it for 10 months. I don't know that many of us will dwell on that.
I'll tell you the real financial reason. They wanted to hit on July 4th weekend.
Oh, well, what's opening July 4th weekend?
Well, something will, but not the Marvels.
And I just got an email from Gary. I'll be sure to find a spot in time. Thanks, Chris. He's going to see it in the theater. I want video proof. Thank you, Dream Prophet, for that. More comments here. Deadpool will be the first MCU R-rated film, I believe. If that's true, I don't see Blade getting a PG-13 rating. Just wouldn't work. Dylan with a 4 in your avatar picture there. I think that's a good sign. I think Blade could at least get a PG-13 or an R. And I think Wesley Snipes has to be in it. I don't care if it's a cameo. Put Wesley Snipes in the movie. Let's keep going here. Tumbleweed says, sadly, James Gunn was the only writer that Marvel hired that actually read the comics and was a geek about it. And you can tell in the writing. That's what I say. Like, go back and read. Go read. James Gunn wrote a novel years ago, which I have on the shelf. I believe it's signed, called The Toy Collector. You want to see what a nerd James Gunn is. Read his novel, The Toy Collector. I believe you can find it on Amazon.
Yeah, I will say, though, I think Jon Favreau read Iron Man, and definitely Kenneth Branagh read Thor, as featured in his movie Belfast.
Faster release equals less time spent developing the script, says Derek Rosenfeld, who's a member. That's a mistake. It's definitely a mistake. And I do think that, there is a little bit of rearranging, not just of schedules, but this has to happen here because this can't happen before this movie. So we need to add whether it's an end credit scene. I think they should save all of that for end credit scenes. They shouldn't be adding in references and whatnot, but whatever. It's fine. James Ricciuti, who's a member, says, this time Blade is a black gay female boss who is protesting her unfair treatment of vampires by the human patriarchy. Well, it's actually Blade will be played by Mahershala Ali, who I think is an incredible actor.
He's got the look. I
I mean, I think he'll be great. Larry says, I miss DV Tuesday. Thank you for saying so, Larry. I'll let you in on a secret since you're watching this. When you watch Attack of the documentary coming out at the end of April. X-Ray Girl Raid. What is this? X-Ray Girl Raid. Oh, thank you, X-Ray Girl. You know what I have suggested to her, because there was no Nerdrotic Nooner today. I said, why don't we just do the show without Gary? We could do it. I can read chat questions and comment on stuff. Gary, I'll do it.
Yeah. Or come over here and produce our show.
Yeah, exactly. We could use the help.
By the way, we're at over 800 people watching.
That's great. Over 800 people. Smash that like button. Subscribe if you're not subscribed to the channel. You'll get little gems like this.
69.
69 is how I scored with your mother last night.
It's a little loud. I'm sorry for that, Alan.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for that.
There's a joke I want to do there, but
well, thank you to X-Ray Girl. That's great. Here we go. My buddy RMB also recommends to read The Toy Collector and believes James Gunn will do a great job with the DCEU. Yeah, I actually think, like, cut him some slack. Oh wow, it is raining intensely in Pasadena, California. Oh yeah. Says Pat Finch. Thank you for that. Smashed the like button and heard it's pregnant, says Beerosaurus Rex. Okay, well,
it's bright and sunny out here.
Well, it's weird.
I know.
When it rains in California, it's always like crazy. Dave T. Geek says, think about who Marvel used to hire. Jon Favreau, the Russo brothers, Joss Whedon, James Gunn, Kenneth Branagh, Edgar Wright. And now it's Rick and Morty writers and girls who hate the comics. So there you go. Oh, I was going to say, so what about the doc, says Joe Hagachi. Okay, there is a end credit scene. First of all, there's stuff happening because the credits for Attack of the Doc are so long. They're like 6 minutes because we're running all the names of everyone who was a Kickstarter backer. Okay, all of their names are in there. Okay. And then there's a post-credit scene that I don't want to ruin. So there you go. So that's what's happening. Cornell I'm trying to grab these. Gary said it best. Disney Marvel has burned up all their superhero goodwill, says Carnell for 5. They kind of have. And it's it's disheartening.
I mean, it's just, other than Guardians of the Galaxy, there's just nothing to be excited about. And that was kind of a thing that happened with phases 1 through 3. It was exciting to see what was coming up next. And it's just not here.
James Ricciuti for $9.99. Thanks, Chris, for always saying my last name correct. You must know some Italians. I do. Glanuccio is an Italian. I know. Yes, I have. I also, I don't know. I like Italian food. So if you go to an Italian restaurant, at some point you're going to pronounce things correctly. So there you are. Latino Slant. That's all I get for $1.99. Do better. Paulie, never missing an opportunity to complain.
I know. And it was $1.99, so.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Yeah, I saw your interview where you uncomfortably made Alan pronounce some things. I had concerns. I thought, how do I clip this? How do I clip this and put it on my channel?
I will be officially canceled
if that video ever comes out.
Ever got out. Yeah. Thankfully, Paulie's not going to post it on his site.
Yeah. So
he has. Never mind. I'm canceled.
The post Guardians silliness of the Marvel movies is the thing about James Gunn taking over DC that worries me. I think he does have to temper it. My sort of big comment about James Gunn running DC, the DC cinematic universe, is he has to show that he's capable of not making a James Gunn movie. And by that, I mean, a lot of his movies kind of have like a similar feel, similar sense of humor, and it should not be that.
Yeah, Superman cannot be a comedy. It cannot be a comedy.
Well, I'm sure there'll be some humorous elements, but it can't be just a straight up.
Well, it can't be there can't be a light tone to Superman.
I think that Taika Waititi broke the humor in the MCU.
Mhm.
I think that's really what ended up happening.
Well, I mean, if you look at it, phase 1 through 3, everything was serious except space, which was Guardians of the Galaxy. You know, and so I think you could claim space as this weird, wacky kind of realm to be in. But the thing is everything else was deadly serious, and that's what made Guardians of the Galaxy such a refreshing alternative to what we were getting at that time.
Now we've got over 800 people watching live. We appreciate it. We have other topics for today, and I'm going to ask the chat what they would they like to continue our discussion of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I do have a rant that'll be at the end. Or do we talk about Picard episode 1 or the recent episodes of Last of Us? Would we like Alan to review an indie movie called Keeping Secrets?
Yes, and let me just say, Keeping Secrets, strippers and serial killers. I'll just leave it at that.
All right. But I think the thing that we're all this was mentioned in almost even in the positive reviews of Ant-Man and the Wasp, even the positive reviews have said that there is real Marvel fatigue. I mean, I just hear it from like regular people who like to go to movies because, you know, going to the movies was a thing. And is Marvel fatigue real? I believe it is. I believe it is. Alan?
I definitely felt it in Ant-Man 3. And a lot of it had to do with the heavy CGI. Because, you know, basically thrown Ant-Man into a world that doesn't exist and a world we can't relate to. And it was so CGI heavy that I just grew tired of. I grew bored and tired halfway through the movie.
Gotcha. Well, Alan, have you seen the new Picard?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Well, we could wait until Friday and talk about the first
Well,
two.
it seems like the chat is saying Picard.
Picard?
Yes.
Well, they say indie movie. Let's do a quick indie movie review.
Yeah.
We're gonna pivot. Just stick with us. We got a lot to talk about.
Partly so we can get rid of that one
And
photo.
I have a rant related to the Marvel Cinematic Universe that you're not going to believe. You're just not going to believe.
Okay.
But I think it's really time that we pivot. So
let's see. Did we lose Chris or is it me? I can't tell if it's me. Okay. So here. Okay, so I'll just go. We're gonna do my review. I'm just gonna share with you an indie film, a very low budget indie film called Keeping Secrets. So I'm pretty sure it's Chris that dropped out. Yeah, so like I said, very low budget, and you can kind of tell by the picture here. Female director, female writer. Let me see if I can get the names. I'm gonna screw this one up, but Omega Keys. But it's a story of Sam Walker, who is a disgraced cop, who kind of gets, you know, she's been demoted because she's gotten too involved in her undercover escapades. So what's happening now is there's the strippers in the area. They're being killed off one by one by a serial killer, and the police, they're at their wits' end, and the only thing they can do is go to Sam Walker because she has looks and the chutzpah to go and look like a stripper and to dive deep into why these strippers are being kidnapped and murdered. And so she does it. And basically the police are so overwhelmed by this, so overwhelmed by the crime spree going on here that they tell her she needs to do anything she has to do to find the killer. And at one point, she gets deep. She gets really deep, and then she is captured by the serial killer. And this is where the movie goes to an extreme. But the serial killer, he's been kidnapping strippers, and what the serial killer is upset by with these women are the fact that they're fake. And so he goes through and starts carving them up. Taking out their breast implants. Some have contact lenses, so he takes out their eyes, and it becomes this very gross, gory serial killer type movie at that point. And And so you have these two things: this cop who goes in way too deep, who gets involved with a former cop who works as a guard at the strip club, and then you have the serial killer who's going after women, carving them up, and trying to figure it all out. And I'll say it one more time: it's an indie, low budget film, so it's got that look and feel to it. It's on Tubi; you can watch it, but I just like the fact that of how far it goes. That it's not playing anything safe. That the gore is pretty gory at a low budget realm, and it does play with this idea of that undercover cop who goes too deep. Now I will say no nudity, but a lot of stripping. So that's my I gave actually Keeping Secrets an 8 out of 10, and it probably might find its way at award this. So I think Chris is actually yeah. So yeah, the moment I say there's no nudity, there you go. How is the sound design? You could tell by the picture there's no lighting, and the sound is probably not there either. Let's see, Pasadena getting hit with wind and rain. Let's see. Let's go. Oh yeah, here we go. So Nicholas Vargo, my mind is still playing the Silk Stockings theme just by looking at this image. I hope you get that reference. Yes, I saw Silk Stocking. It goes crazier than that. Let's see. Shucksy says there are a lot of people going deep in this movie, Alan. Let's see. Faust Out Loud. Oh Jesus, LOL. Let's see, Solomon. Oh, he's responding. Wire, the first nude film I ever saw. Are we? Yeah, the Fresh Snow. Atlanta has nice strip clubs, from what I read. In fact, this movie is shot in Atlanta. Let's see, Gabe Oi Toucher. OMG, YouTube just killed Chris. YouTube assassins just took a hit on him. Chris, no. Okay, John Mewald. He doesn't like fake people like Catcher in the Rye. Let's see. Oh, and Heinlein wants to know, is this a Disney film? No. Beerosaurus Rex, the stripper ripper. And my dog's going nuts now. So I worked on Apocalypse TDM. I worked on a Skinamax show. This looks better, but not far off. Yeah, I mean, look, Film Threat. The reason I'm here, the reason we try to at least include indie films in some of these, is that these are just up and coming filmmakers who, can you imagine a story of like this being pitched to big Hollywood studios? The idea that they would have to clean things up, the idea that their story is not going to be told the way they want it. And then you have to deal with all the, deal with all the political correctness, which this movie does not care about at all. Let's see, Appion, coming to a theater near you. I believe it is on Tubi. It's either on Pluto or Tubi, so you can watch it. The title is Keeping Secrets, John Mywald. Let's see, somebody do a welfare check out Chris. I know, it's like, where is he? Imperfect, feed your dog. Yeah, there you go. Cyber Chud 2077. Atlanta has nice food at their strip clubs. Whether you'll like the dancer is up to you, personal taste. Okay, unfortunately, I have no reference as to whether you're right or wrong. Jonas J. Campbell, are you sure it's not coming to Disney Junior? Are you talking about Keeping Secrets, or are you talking about Ant-Man? Let's see, Wizard Shack. Frost did a hit on Chris Gore. Maybe he did. Chris did tell me that a package was supposed to show up at his house, and that he had to sign for it. So I'm hoping that's it, because he's taking a long time to come back. Let's see, Jonas J. Campbell. Chris Gore, you should get Alan's attention with a super chat. Yeah, Chris, tell me where you are. Oh, here we go. Chris says, I'm in the quantum realm. So that seems to make a lot of sense. Let's see. Oh, so it is his internet. He's trying to get back on. See, I'm not the only one with bad internet, but at least mine still lets me stay on board. Softcore Gore from Len Barnett. Dada Debaser. No nudity. I'll skip it then. Yeah. But there's a lot of gore in this one. There's a lot of cutting up of people. Let's see. Greasy Guido. If you had a strip club in your movie, that there had better be nudity. Otherwise, just make it a dance film or dance club. Okay. Yeah, I didn't ask. Gay Reward. You can't say stripper and not have bobs. We'll keep it at bobs. All right, let's keep going here. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Super chat from Dream Profit, $1.99. Call me crazy, but I want a DCU shot on film. That would be interesting. I'm trying to remember if even Black Panther tried to do that. Let's see. Chris Gore, Spectrum is not good. Hey, Chris, just get on your cell phone and get in here. Let's see. War Monkey. Ask Cassie for help. She'll get you out in no time. There you go. Let's see. Catherine Zayed. Catheterized eye. There you go. Kane got him. He pivoted right into the Q realm. Matthew Hammond says he's pooping. Yeah, I think we're gonna start losing our monetization right now. Jonas J. Campbell, Latino Slime. Hey, you're here too. Okay, so I'm just getting the talk here. All right. Hey, the sound of one man laughing. I haven't heard from you in a long time. Film threat with just Alan is quite nice without the other guy yelling at him all the time. I know, really. I get what you're saying, but now I've got a dog moaning in the background. Here we go. Len Barnett. Keeping Secret sounds just like one of those old Angel movies from the 80s. Yeah, I mean, I think without the without the nudity, I think that's what we're getting here. Or it's I think you're watching this movie more for the thrill, more for the story. Okay, why am I trying to defend it like that? Latino slant. Hey, Polly, Home Depot. I did that wrong, but we're moving on. LOL. Jonas J. Campbell. LOL. The movie with strippers. Alan. All right. Whoops. Hold on one second. Okay. It's like my speaker went off, but that's because Chris isn't here to keep it on. Okay. War Monkey. Is Alan a puppet? Star-Lord has arms up.
Bluetooth connected.
Sorry, let me fix this.
Auxiliary mode.
War Monkey, is Alan a puppet? Star-Lord has his arms up, his butt, it looks like. Star-Lord has his arm up, but his butt. Okay, so Star-Lord has his arm up his butt, it looks like. Oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah, if you look at the picture down here, Star-Lord has his hand up my butt. All right, let's see. Here we go. Quator. I'm sure Chris will be back soon. I'm just like, all right. Quator. I've always thought that Alan was in charge and the guy with the great hair just works for him. He pretty much does. Dr. Hoffman Live. I went to see Ant-Man and it sucked. I paid $20 and got Coke, popcorn, and a hot dog at least. I paid $20. Yeah. It used to be when I got the AMC A-list where you could see 3 movies a week. I used to just grab my laptop, go to my local AMC, which does food service to your table, and I would just have a movie, watch a movie, and then be writing in the back row while that movie is going on. I haven't done that in a long time. All right. Let's see. Those stripper bras look incredibly painful. Put the Marvel poster full screen. All right. Let's see. I know I should probably. All right. I think I do that way. All right. Let's get the camera fixated. I'm sure Chris is coming back soon. Cool, Alice. Okay. Let's see. Ralph, Normie, how's everyone doing? Yeah, well, Chris isn't here. Chris's internet conked down on him. Oh, we have another super chat. Fear the Turtle 21, $5. What happened to cool movie posters? They're all mostly the same and not creative at all. Alan, give us a rant on that. You're right. Especially the big Hollywood studios, the posters are all about the people who star in it. No one's making cool posters anymore. And if you want a resource for great, cool posters, I would suggest going to the Film Threat. The Film Threat. Let me get this set up. The Film Threat Instagram account. So here we go. Let's just go through a couple of these posters. Yeah, and this is the one I bring up first. It's the book club, the next chapter. Diane Keaton, Jane Fonda, Candice Bergen, Mary Steenburgen. They played this trailer during 80 for Brady, and I thought the movie had already started. 12th hour, the most serious threat of all arrives, and we can't even see it. The 12th hour, believe it or not, this is an environmental documentary. But I like the kind of horror look of this postcard. Let's see. Film. I should not skip this one. Film, The Living Record of Our Memory. That's a movie about films, and we have a review coming up for that pretty soon. Calaveri. I believe we have another one. That one looks like an environmental tale. Let's see. Chris, you coming back? Yeah. Hey.
I've been trying to get in. I was texting you.
Get in?
Link. I just sent me the link, dude. I've been trying to get in for a while. It's weird. It's hailing in Pasadena right now, and it is kind of crazy. So, can you hear me? Okay?
You sound great.
Okay. So I'm in a different position now, in my place. So I don't think. I might just turn the camera off just because it's like. The lighting is weird, and
you look fine.
No. The power just went out, and I just went off the stream. But it's weird because right when we were doing the pivot, right?
Right. I know. I was like, oh, okay. I thought you were signing for that package, but
no. I would have let you know. So, look, my apologies for Alan breaking the show.
Yeah.
Still have our special guest coming on, Mark S. Allen, in about 20 minutes, but and a bunch of stuff I plan to talk about. I guess we're not going to get to, but let's make sure to get all the comments and super chats and keep the conversation going. But we lost 100 people. That means only 100 people like me.
I know. Or they were all X-Ray Girls raids.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah. Someone said, Shucks, he said, Alan accidentally missed Chris trying to join the stream. Yeah, here we go. Gordoc. Gordoc is here, says Faust out loud. Yeah. So yeah.
Do we want to go on to Picard or Last of Us?
Joe, did you reviewed that indie movie?
I did. Yeah.
I'm gonna save my I have these 2 rants that I want to do. I'm gonna save them for Friday because we're talking Cocaine Bear. We're gonna keep talking Marvel. Let's talk about Picard. So can you I don't have my full setup.
Yeah, I got it. Let me just find the background here. Picard. There we go. All right, we are set.
All right, well, let's talk about it.
Alan,
first of all, I think the big question is, Alan, are you a big fan of Star Trek: The Next Generation?
I'm a big fan. I will tell you the 2 Star Trek series that I love the most: Next Generation and Deep Space Nine. And beyond that, to some degree, the original series. But beyond that, I've not really followed Star Trek past Deep Space Nine. I tried Voyager and just kind of got bored of it.
Well, yeah, same thing with myself on Voyager. I think for me, Deep Space Nine wasn't my cup of tea. Having said that, there's a great documentary about Deep Space Nine, and I know people who've seen it that swear by it. But I love The Next Generation. When Star Trek: The Next Generation first debuted in the 90s, it was different. It looked like Star Trek. It felt like Star Trek. It sounded like Star Trek. I thought the music was great. The fact that they used music from Star Trek, the motion picture, I always loved that score. I loved it. And I thought that there were interesting things. It was, the Star Trek, the original series, I still have an affection for. It is dated. The effects are kind of dated in some way, but the stories were great. The writing was great. And that's what I love about the original series. Next Generation kind of took it to like, we're going to take this more seriously. We have a saucer section that can be evacuated, so most of the crew can leave, in times of combat, which they only ever used a very few times, which I'm glad that they did. And I like that it was a different look and feel, that you had an older, more seasoned captain and then a man of action, Riker, Commander Riker. I always loved his character, and it was great. I mean, the first season was a little rough. Once you got to like the end of second season, got into the third season of Star Trek: The Next Generation, some of the best episodes of television ever written, in my opinion. Just
Absolutely.
Star Trek: The Next Generation is one of the great shows. And you could come up with more than a long list of great episodes. And the way it ended, I thought was great. The movies are not, I know First Contact, a lot of people say, is one of their favorites. That's probably the best. I thought that the Star Trek: The Next Generation movies were a mixed bag.
Yeah.
Generations was kind of,
it was nostalgia.
It was nostalgia. It was Captain Kirk, but Kirk being used in a really weird way. But I love it. Now, I have attempted to watch Picard season 1 and 2. Awful. I couldn't get through one episode. I did. There was one episode where they're on Earth and there's homeless people. They steal a cop car. Like, how is this Star Trek with characters I didn't recognize? Picard, from my understanding, ends up becoming a robot at the end. It just didn't make sense to me. So I was really skeptical when RMB, Robert Meyer Burnett, told me, like, it's great. You're going to love it. It's so good. Just, get ready. Didn't believe him. Didn't buy it. Nope. Couldn't believe it. Hey, Yellow Flash. Yo. Good to see you. But it's, so I was skeptical. And that first episode, it's everything I wanted in a Star Trek show. Beverly Crusher in that outfit at the beginning, some mysterious new species. What's happening? What is she trying to protect? A secret, obviously. She was in that old school Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan jacket, which I thought was a great little nod. Familiar sound effects, music, all of that, down to like the title sequences. Like this episode is called The Next Generation. Fantastic. So it all worked incredibly well for me. This first episode, the main things being the little shout outs when Picard opens this, he finds the old communicator, kind of opens, and you see just the color of the old uniform. I got excited about that. So yeah, there are a lot of member berries and whatever. Having said that, there are all these great lines. And what I did really enjoy about it was that it didn't come preloaded with the things that have bothered me about modern Trek. I watched the first 4 episodes of Discovery. Strange New Worlds, I watched maybe the 3-4 episodes. Beyond that, I just couldn't get over the fact that it didn't feel like Star Trek. It felt too modern in terms of how the characters were approached. This feels like true Trek. I know people who have seen most of the season who tell me it gets even better. Based on what I've seen so far, I'm hooked. I'll continue to watch it. And I think we'll revisit it. We'll review like maybe 2 or 3 episodes at a time, and then we'll do a season finale of it.
Like what we're doing with The Last of Us.
Kind of like what we're doing with The Last of Us. You got to group them together, but right out of the gate, like, why have they not been doing this from the beginning? This would have been so good had they started Picard with this. This is the, where this is like an additional season of Star Trek: The Next Generation. That's all it is. Because I really feel there are moments, my kind of one complaint is, Picard does seem a little long in the tooth, as they say. He does seem a little like his talking is belabored. And I feel sad saying it because I've seen Patrick Stewart at Star Trek Vegas going way back, and he just seems like he's low energy. Now, are they even like, is that a payoff? Does he transform later in the show? We'll see. I love the first episode. I'm all in, and I'll see to the end because Robert Meyer Burnett told me to. That's why. What were your thoughts on Picard season 3, episode 1?
Right. There are 2 things. It didn't feel like Next Generation, but it definitely felt like the Star Trek movies, the cinematic movies, and one thing that tips you off on that is it's dark. There's not a lot of lights on spaceships nowadays. You know, the Next Generation was a series of basically morality tales. The world was open and optimistic. All the races got along. We worked together. You know, we were trying to help spread the great news of the Prime Directive, and and so there was a hopeful positivity that was going on in the Federation, and I felt like going after Next Generation ended and after Deep Space Nine ended, it just seemed like it was all kind of going in this dark direction, and you can tell by the movies, the Next Generation movies, it wasn't as bright, and this one is certainly that. But I will agree with you. I liked episode 1 very much. Riker felt like Riker, like he hadn't changed at all over the years. That Jonathan Frakes, it's like, yeah, that's Will Riker. I'll agree with you about Patrick Stewart. So what I felt like going in is like, I'm not going to get Star Trek here. I'm not going to get the stories that I got in Star Trek. We're going to go on an action adventure here. And at least they're doing it right. I mean, that the end of the first episode was a great cliffhanger. It's like, damn it, I need to see that second episode. So yeah. At least they're following the rules, unlike Andor, they're following the rules of television. You got to end with that cliffhanger. You got to end with a reason to make people want to stay and wait and watch the next episode. It's so as a pure action adventure with Star Trek characters, I'm in. Let's see how episode 2 goes.
Yeah, I'm all in. So I'm super excited about it. We've got a lot of chat comments and questions here, so let's get to those. I'll try and do this as best I can, Alan, but I'll start from the top.
Yeah.
Verisimilitude-esque for 5 says, I have fatigue from how sexy Chris's hair is. Well, here's my hair. I got it cut today. You can see this is the other side of the room. Normally I'm looking this direction.
Yeah.
But now I'm looking this direction. You can see I've got the William Shakespeare bust in the background. And I've got I've got like some Fantastic Four stuff there. I don't know if you can see that. And then you'll see there's some other stuff there. I don't know if you can.
You have Funkos.
What's that?
You have a Galactus Funko.
It's a Galactus Funko Pop that is scaled.
I would love that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. But yeah, thank you for that comment. James J. Campbell is a new member. Appreciate that. Funky Opinion is a new member. Voyager is better than its reputation. Barely, says Cyber Chud 2077. We'll appreciate that. Yeah. Voyager was too boring. Love DS9, says Imperfect.
Yeah, I am a huge fan of DS9. I love DS9.
Yeah. You were talking about movie posters. Like, I hope we get some new subs to our or new people following us on our Instagram, because I personally run the Instagram because I love movie posters. But Bass Player 2011 if a 5 for 5 says, in my humble opinion, the best movie posters were made in the 70s. Jaws, Close Encounters, The Godfather, Halloween, The Exorcist, Deliverance, Chinatown, etc., etc. Could not agree more, frankly.
Yeah. Now we're just selling the actors. And that's not always a good strategy.
Let's see. Some Norwegian guy, another off-topic question for 59 of something. It's Norwegian. Kronas. Yeah. With the success of The Last of Us, do you think we will see a wave of video game adaptations similar to the superhero / comic book craze we've had in the past decade? Will we see a wave? We've got Mario coming in like next month. Last of Us is one of the biggest shows on television. Yeah, no, more video game adaptations are coming. Maybe this will bring in the Bioshock movie that was in development for a while. Do you remember the Bioshock movie? Did you ever play that game, Alan?
I did not play Bioshock.
Yeah. More of the comments here. We have a special guest joining us in 8 minutes. Cyberchud 2077 Voyager is okay. I said that. Wizard Shock. Why is Picard's look so dark? Did the studio not have power? Says Wizard Shack, who's a member. I think that that's a look. I also think that it will not be consistent for the entire series. I did love, probably one of my favorite scenes in Picard, the first episode of season 3, was when they have the dinner with the captain of the ship. and there's
Yeah.
all this tension, and I didn't think he was like a complete a-hole. I just thought that like, oh, I like this guy. And what I also loved, it's worth noting, and I should have brought it up earlier, is that I love that there's adherence to military protocols.
Mhm.
That made it feel real. It's the thing that really has bothered me about all the modern Trek, is it just seems like no one's following any of the rules.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. So
Yeah.
that always bugs me.
I like the whole, but I'm Picard. You got to do what I say.
So
you know.
Wizard Shaq goes on to say, "What's Alan's dog's name?"
Yeah, I'll give you a hint. She's named after a party drug.
Molly.
Yeah, well, they gave it away. Yeah.
All right. We'll be conducting our interview. We have one of our guests showed up a little early. We're starting in 7 minutes, but we're going to be going through these chat comments and questions here. War Monkey says, I'm excited for episode 2. Been years since I was excited for episode 2 of anything, pretty much. Well, that says a lot. Oh, Lubitsch Touch Me, What We Leave Behind. It is a good documentary.
It is very good.
I interviewed the showrunner for DS9. It's actually when Film Threat was an audio only podcast. Thank you, Lubitsch Touched Me, for that. Dinner Bells, DS9 is greater than TNG.
Yeah. I mean, they're different shows, but they have the same heart behind it, which is why I like both of them.
Yeah, let me get to some of these super chats here.
Yes.
A Dream Profit for $1.99 says, what's Alan's insight on the 4th of July release? What's your insight, Alan?
What's opening on July 4th?
You made that comment. Shouldn't you actually know that already?
Well, I mean, they moved it to open that spot. The question is what goes in that spot.
All right.
I wish I knew.
All right. Why is Chris's avatar, a better MODOK than the one in the film, says Eric Stratton for 444. I like that you gave 444 in cash because that's a little reference to the Fantastic Four. I'm just going to say that. Greasy Guido for 555. What are you guys doing? Is this a joke that I'm not in on? Alan, are there any strip clubs with nudity in the new Picard?
No, there isn't.
All right. Well,
we had a lot of talk about strip clubs in Keeping Secrets.
I was not there for that conversation. I was trying to fix my my power there. So,
but again, go ahead, keep going.
Matthew Hammond for 2. Were you a fan of Stargate SG-1 / Atlantis? I did not watch it. Alan, did you?
I didn't. I'll say it. I wish I could keep up with television. I just can't.
Gotcha.
I know my brother loved it.
MK Solid 82 for $1.99 says, Chris, you promised a house tour of your stuff. Well, I just gave you a little tour. I'll shoot it on video so I can actually spend time doing it. I don't want to take up time on the live stream. I will give you a home tour. I'm something of a armchair interior decorator, and no one would ever guess this about me. So there you go. Derek Rosenfeld for 10. Fellas, forgive me for asking. Do you do any critical solicitation? I directed a short film that's been selected for a few online festivals. Would you watch and offer a blurb to add to the poster for a fee? No. But what you could do is you could go to filmthreat.com/submit. You could submit your movie for review, and I recommend selecting the Fast Pass option, and you can pull a blurb from the review. Does that make sense, Alan?
Yes. That's what we tell people all the time.
Yeah, just go to filmthreat.com/submit, submit the movie, choose Fast Pass, and then that's what I would recommend that you do. And if you're already getting in some online festivals, that speaks to the quality of the work. So there you go. Gabe Oitoucher for 2. Escalators never break. They only become stairs. There you go. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
By the way, here's another reason why the Marvels have been moved. Coming out in July is Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny and Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning.
No, Nick, Indiana Jones is June, actually.
Yeah, June 30th.
Oh, they moved it?
I don't No, I think it's always been June 30th is the last day of June, which leads right into the July 4th weekend.
Okay, well, that's interesting.
Yeah,
All
that
right.
is the July 4th weekend. Indiana Jones has it the July 4th weekend.
More comments here. Zachary Bloom, will I enjoy it if I've never seen a single episode of Star Trek?
No.
You would. There are like some really good like catch-up videos, like all seasons of Star Trek The Next Generation, like revealed. So there you go.
I have no hope that you will enjoy it if you have never watched Star Trek.
Yeah. It would be difficult. You would enjoy it more if you have seen it. But thank you for your super chat. John Thomas referencing a comment earlier. Maybe I misunderstood you, but the Thin Man movies were not film noir, way too light and comedies. Also, if you scroll to beginning, as soon as you mentioned the film noir, I typed DOA before you said it. Great minds think alike. Well, thank you for that, John Thomas. Appreciate it. Yes, DOA is probably the best, if not classic film noir. Maltese Falcon up there as well. Derek Rosenfeld for 2. Thanks, guys. Well, thank you. Rhea Lavi, the Star Trek The Next Generation is my favorite drama show of all time, sci-fi or not. I'm not interested in these geriatric reunions. Too late for that. Give me a new show post-Dominion War in Starfleet Academy with a new cast. All right. John Mayweld says Nicholas Meyer Trek. Yeah, it did seem like they were trying to do references to Nicholas Meyer Star Trek. So, and Anonymous says Riker stole the first episode. So there you go.
Yeah.
I think he really did. He just asserted himself as the lead. Well,
I feel like he'll steal the entire series, by the way.
Yeah. Now, Alan, you're gonna have to help me on the chat because my internet's bad today. We have a special guest joining us right now as we prepare, and as we do, like Alan likes to say, we're pivoting. We're pivoting. So let's pivot. Can you get the brand picture up?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm waiting for you to do that. Hold on.
I can't do it. I can't do it on my computer.
Okay, I'm doing it. I'll find it. There it is. And of course, let's see. And of course, you are more familiar with these videos than I am. 69.
Wait. Okay. So,
look for the pivot video, and I can't find it. Which one is it?
All right, here we are. I'm not going to say it. I may not say these words. Someone else can say it. And my apologies. It's just me as an icon here. Amy's Effortless by director Mark S. Allen, starring actress Alison Gorski as Amy, is now available on demand. You can find it. It's actually on Amazon. It's on Prime Video on Amazon. It's in theaters, but it came out on Valentine's Day. For all of you looking for something new to watch on Valentine's Day, this is a film you want to check out. Mark is not here, but Alison Gorski is joining us here. And Mark is also joining us on the show. Mark, good to see you. And Alison,
hello.
You. Congratulations on the film.
Thank you so much.
That's great. Mark, how's it going? You've got your digital background. I see. My internet it's hailing in Pasadena. My internet's, I'm doing the best I can. I'm tethered to my phone. Yeah. Hailing in Pasadena. Pretty crazy. But
anybody?
Mark can't hear us.
Thumbs up if you hear me.
We can hear you, but
we can hear you. You can't hear us.
You guys
can't hear us.
Cool. All right. Well, come back when you can hear us. I'll bring you back. But Allison, tell us, how did you get involved in the film?
Hi. Yeah. Thank you for having me. How did I get involved in the film? I did a film with Mark and the producer of this film, Howard Bird, about, like 4 years ago, called 616 Wilford Lane. It was like an independent horror movie that we shot up in NorCal. And I was in that and had a really great time and built a relationship with them. And so when they wrote this script and came to me with it, I was just really excited. And I read it and I fell in love with the character. And yeah, that's how I got involved.
was kind of made for you, right? I mean, in terms of just like, but what did you bring to the character that, it's a very, this movie is funny, but also goes to some dark places. And there's I don't know if I want to give too much away. There's a scene where you just go on one of the dating apps and basically say "F it" is all I'll say. But tell me more about what you brought to the character.
Yeah. So, the movie's about this young woman who is kind of living a very monotonous, boring, I don't want to say boring, but monotonous life that she's not enjoying. And she's kind of withdrawn from her family and from her friends and her goals. And then she gets this like life altering diagnosis, which is the premise of the movie. So she decides to say, screw it. And because she only has a week to live, she's going to enact revenge on all the people that have hurt her, big and small. So yeah, it is a pretty, dark subject matter, but it is a comedy. And I guess what I brought to it was just, the fact that like life is always going to be dark, and it's about what you, finding the levity in between those moments and finding time to enjoy it with people you love in spite of that. And with Amy, I just, there's so much, all the jokes are so well written. I didn't really have to act the humor. I just had to act truthfully for this young woman in the situation. So I think I brought a lot of myself, and I did a lot of research on women, people who had a certain amount of time to live, and the epiphanies that they had because of that. And so that's kind of what I brought.
Cool. Mark, can we hear you now, or can you hear us? Oh, now we can't hear Mark.
Oh no.
Oh no, you're muted. You're muted. Yeah. Mark, you're mute. Yeah, there you go.
Mark, can you say
Sorry,
hello? All right, cool. All right, so tell us about the film.
Where do you want to start?
Start at the beginning, just with the premise and whatnot, and what led you to you and I talking about the movie right here and your premiere, which was recently in Los Angeles.
So my producing partner Howard and I were coming off of our last film, and we typically get together one lunch when we're in the tail end of production on whatever film we're shooting. Said, what's next? And we start spitballing things from our youth or things that we remember from our parents or siblings. And we remembered a movie called Falling Down with Michael Douglas. Now, most young millennials won't know that movie, but it etched its place in our cinematic lives. And we thought, what if we flipped the script on that? A young millennial woman is going through a similar journey. And then as we started writing the beats, we said, in our case, why don't we show the audience early on why she's falling down? And then why don't we team her up? So there's a Susance of Thelma and Louise meets Falling Down, flip the script for a younger millennial generation. And that's the movie Amy's Effortless.
Cool. Well, let's go to questions from our live audience. We have over 600 people watching us live. Question for Allison here. What led you to pursue acting?
It was kind of something I always really wanted to do. I always loved it. And, I just turned 18 and I had gotten into college and I out on the East Coast, and I realized like, okay, if I don't do it now, if I don't move to LA and pursue it, I don't know if I ever will. So, I guess just like, youth and ignorance and, I don't know. I wanted to pursue it. I just took a chance.
Cool.
Thank God for your ignorance.
Another question. Greasy Guido asks, I like 616 Wilford Lane. The twist really caught me off guard. Does this movie have any unexpected turns, or it's more straightforward and honest?
Allison?
This movie definitely has a twist.
Yeah,
That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. We're talking about the ending, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that would be the big twist.
twist.
Wait till the very end for the twist. With
Yeah.
616, there's a twist that comes about 10 minutes before the ending that really creeps the audience out. This won't creep you out as much as it does blow your mind and make you instantly realize you've just seen a more important movie than you thought you had seen.
Yeah. I will. Solomon Thornton says, I will definitely see this film, not only because Allison is beautiful, but the story is very interesting. So there you go. Question for Mark from Dylan W. Budget. Can you talk budget, Mark?
Yeah, any filmmaker that makes movies on the budget that we make, they have to tap dance around it because there's a lot of beg, borrow, and so there's a real capital out and there's an in kind. So if you watch this movie, it's in kind $1.3 million, but the budget was less than that.
Oh, wow. Okay. War Monkey has a comment, says, plain and basic Amy receives news that suddenly turns her world upside down. Is part of the description on IMDb. I call BS on that plain and basic part, lol. So, there you go. Brock Samsonite asks, says, wait, so it's a dark comedy, not a drama? How would you describe it for both of you?
I'll let you go first, Allison.
Yeah, I would definitely say it's a dark comedy. It's got elements of both, but yeah, it's a dark comedy. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd love to jump in, and Allison, I'm so glad that I get to have you in audience as I say this, because I know you've heard us say it in other rooms before. This movie was always to have that end that makes you realize you've watched a much more important movie. But at the same time, our writing, my producing partner and I, it kind of had a lighter, we'd always swing for the lowest hanging fruit, and it was kind of goofy. And then Allison lays down this one particular scene in the first act of the movie that blew our mind. It completely made us realize that we were making an entirely different movie and should at least lean into that movie rather than the movie that we had started out to make. So a lot of the low-hanging fruit jokes, most of them, not all of them, got cut. And we changed the texture, especially in between anything that was supposed to be comedic. We let Allison and Angel and Cameron James Matthews go with that to make it a little bit heavier than you'd expect. But it's still funny. It's still a fun movie.
Yeah.
There's a lot of heart in this movie, and that's ultimately why I like the movie. And I do also like this idea that because she's only got a week to live, that she's taking the approach of what haven't I done, but the idea of what can I get away with knowing that I'll be dead in a week.
Yeah.
A super chat here from Gabe Toucher for 2 says, holy crap, she's super hot. All right, this is what the chat is saying.
Yeah, he paid for it too. So
to that note, and to the earlier note that said I call BS on plain Amy, Allison, you are a leading woman. That's why we cast you. You have whatever that je ne sais quoi, whatever that thing is. It was so difficult to put less makeup on or makeup in a different direction and lighter shitty to make her look plain. She jumps out. This person needs to be a star, and indeed she is.
Thank you.
And Gayboy Toucher for 2 says, just a reminder, Allison, it's Alan.
Alan, that's me. That's for me.
Alan, what the heck?
I wasn't in the movie, but
Appion said, does it have a serious character arc? Well, having seen the film, absolutely. Can you discuss it? It's much more than you would think from watching the trailer. Let's say that.
Yeah, it has 2 serious character arcs. One, when Allison lays down the aforementioned scene that turns the table on everything. And then another one towards the end that I would say spins it an entirely different character arc.
Yeah. And then another comment here. Thelma and Louise meets Falling Down sounds good. Can't wait to check it out, says Apocalypse Tedium. Lubitsch Touch Me says, both what actors, writers are your biggest inspirations? Question for both of you. Actors and writers, big inspiration.
Allison?
Well, like writers, not film writers, but I'm on a big Joan Didion kick right now because she just had an exhibit. There was just an exhibition of her work at the Hammer, but that's not film related, so I don't know why I'm talking about that. But actors, Kate Winslet is a really big inspiration for me. Kate Blanchett, and Margot Robbie. I love that she also has her production company, Lucky Chap Entertainment, and I love how captivating she is on screen. So yeah, and then of course, like the Philip Seymour Hoffmans and Daniel Day-Lewis's of the world are no-brainers. But for women, I think it's the Kates and Margot that I love.
Cool. Mark, what about you?
Yeah, you can tell who the deeper person, the one who actually reads in the room from Team Amy's. I like Judd Apatow movies. I think they're funny. I like the Farrelly Brothers. But on that note, a thing that I deeply respect about the Farrelly Brothers is even when they were doing ridiculous comedy, there was still heart in it. They kept. And as you'll see, the Farrelly Brothers, too, have grown to where they can do drama better than anybody. Not only just drama, but civil rights drama. They are indeed capable of making the world a better place with their movies in that way.
Cool. And then another question here from Solomon Thornton. For both of you, what is the best way for a director to communicate with an actor?
I'll say that it's really flattering as an actor when a director trusts that you just come in with your own ideas and an interpretation and trust you to do that, and then encourages you to trust yourself. And I think it's much more like vulnerable and real that way, which Mark was really good about. And when he did have adjustments, it felt like suggestions, not like, no, that's not what I want. Can you do this instead? Or say it this line. Like, I think line readings and telling an actor what to do, especially because it's such a vulnerable craft where we're using so much of ourselves, can be hard to take and can lead to like an inauthentic scene. So I think when a director suggests and is encouraging, while also discussing with you their own vision, so you understand that you're serving their idea of the script and not just your own artistic vision, is really important. And Mark was great about that.
Well, yeah, I mean, Team Film Threat, Chris and Alan, like you guys have talked to famous directors up and down the chain. And on that side of my life, I have as well. And I used to call BS when they would say, 90% of directing is getting the right cast. But it's so true. You really, as a director, have to make sure that that person is in the driver's seat that knows how to operate that vehicle. And in this case, how to guide that role. And we more or less had written this character hoping and praying that Allison would say yes. So we did our best to write to what we knew were her strengths and where she might be able to take it or want to take it. And then once she arrived at set, and even in any dialogue we had in pre-production, we said, look, here's what's happening. But if you have a better idea or want to take it even on the day, let us know and we'll adjust the script accordingly or adjust it in post to handle that. So I think just really trusting your actor, letting him do it. And again, I don't think you should make major corrections on the set, especially with your principals. They have it. That's why they're there. And with Allison, she blew us away. This movie has her signature on it as much as any of the writers, any of the producers, or the director.
Question here. What camera did you guys shoot on from Dream Prophet?
We shot on Alexa. And by the way, shout out. I wish you were here right now and you should talk to her sometime as well. Emmy, our director of photography, graduated from honors from AFN. She is an amazing cinematographer, and she too brought a lot of her eye to it. Her signature also on this movie as much as anybody else, any other department.
Cool. And John Orchard for 5 says, thank you for creating an entertaining movie premise. Where can I see it? Thanks, Alan and Chris, for featuring this movie. So where can we see Amy's Effortless?
You can see it on Prime. You can see it on Tubi, Google Play, YouTube Premium, pretty much most of the major video on demands. And then internationally, it pops up in theaters and video on demand as well.
Cool. And Lubitsch Touch Me also asks, is there a physical media release planned?
Absolutely. We just, my Zoom right before I jumped on this call was with that team that's creating it, all kinds of extras that we might pop in. There is an alternate ending that we struggled with being in the movie, and it might be included on the Blu-ray. There will be a physical media release in about 90 to 120 days, somewhere in that quarter.
Great. Well, Allison, Mark, I just want to say thank you for joining us on the Film Threat Livecast. Check out Amy's Effortless. Add it to your list of movies to check out on Prime Video and all major video on demand platforms. And it's
I just have some parting words.
Sure, please.
I love you, Film Threat. I can't believe I'm here.
Great. Hey, thank you, Mark. It's great. And your movie's being distributed by Indie Rights, which is one of the good ones.
Thank you, boss. Thank you, Allison.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much.
Take care. All right. See you guys soon.
Bye.
Awesome. Thanks. Alan, we did it. We survived the show, even with bad internet. My terrible internet. What is going on? Oh my God, dude.
I feel bad because I got a major factual error in the review I did, and I had to correct it. But
correct it right now.
Mark was a good sport about it.
Let's wrap up. A couple quick chat questions here. Gabe Oitticher for 10. Mark has the most perfect hair I've ever seen, dude. I hate you. I'm so jealous. You and the Gore need to fight over who has the best. Come on. Chris's hair is the goat. Okay, I don't know. I'm not going to fight Mark over his hair. We just have great hair. It's just nice to reach a certain age and have amazing hair. That's all I'll say. So thank you so much for that. Let's see. Final final parting words here. Friday, we've got another super chat here. John Thomas for 5 says, saw your review of Marlowe. Why remake perfection? No one can top Bogart. Also, Casablanca is the greatest movie ever made. Fight me.
If they ever make a remake of Casablanca, I think I just give up on the whole Hollywood system at this point.
Right. Well, thank you, John Thomas, for your support. We are going to be back on Friday. We're going to continue our Marvel conversation. There were a bunch of things I didn't get to. I had 2 Gore rants, double rants. We're going to get to them. Friday, we will do a longer show. I promise you to make up. We only did 2 hours today. So I apologize if we missed any chat questions or comments. We'll continue our discussion of Marvel because there was a point I was leading to that I want to make. I will make it on Friday because I have some graphics and things that, and I will be more prepared. Hopefully we won't lose power. Weird weather we're experiencing here. And at some point, yes, I will do the tour. You can see a few things. Can you see some things in the background? You recognize any of those things? Some crazy stuff in the background there. But I will be back on Friday. Thank you so much, all your super chats today and your great questions. Friday, 9 a.m. Pacific time, 12 p.m. Eastern time. Join us. And I'm going to fix this. And I appreciate you. I really appreciate our audience. We're getting a larger and larger audience as we continue to do this. I just really appreciate it as we get closer and closer to our goal, which right now we're standing just north of 67,000. We're trying to get to.
The number of the day is 69.
We're trying to get to 69,000. I know we're going to make it. It's going to be a lot of fun. So there you go. Alan, anything else you'd like to say?
Just keep visiting filmthread.com. We've been getting a little boost in traffic. So thank you for coming to the site.
Holy fucking shit. These reviews are delicious.
Yeah, my review of Jesus Revolution will post tonight. Or
by the way, I saw the trailer for Jesus Revolution.
Yeah,
it doesn't say that it's called Jesus Revolution. It looks like a movie I'd like to see.
Yeah, it's we'll talk about it Friday, but it's not your typical faith film. Considering how Kelsey Grammer starting in it.
It didn't look like a faith film. It just looked like an interesting story from the 60s that I was completely unaware of.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about Cocaine Bear, Jesus Revolution, Marvel stuff. I know we've got some filmmaker coming on Friday. We appreciate it. Alan, take us out.
Let's get out of here.
Wait, I clicked the wrong one. Take us out again.
Okay. Let's get out of here.